Welcome to the Bruce Williams channel. In front of the camera today, I have the Zelos Blacktip 200 Tie Teal Mother of Pearl. This is a new release from Zelos, and I'm going to talk about this watch, but also focus in on the broader topic of the title, and that is Zelos the top regarded microbrand? Is that a subjective question? Yes, definitely. But what do you think about this? A top microbrand should offer above average specifications for the retail price that they charge. A top microbrand should offer a mix of colors, and they should be immediately available to ship, or in other words, you get good consumer choice and then that instant gratification of not needing to wait for months for your backed watch or your pre-ordered watch to be created and then shipped out. A top micro brand should offer a strong design identity and not do countless shameless homages. A top micro brand should be cognizant of market trends in terms of sizing, in terms of movement preferences or design features, but also, and at the same time, bringing something a little unexpected to the table. Would you agree with that? Would you add something or take something away? Am I missing something major? Let me know below, and let's stack up this new release to those standards, and that will help me answer the question, is Zelos the top regarded micro brand of the moment? So does this watch have above average specs for the retail price of $549? Well, it's crafted out of titanium. There's a nice mix of brushing and polished elements. All of the titanium here will be surface hardened to 1,200 Vickers, and that will make it very difficult to scratch or to mar or mark as you use this sports piece. There is a sapphire crystal with inner applied anti-reflective treatment. I will say it's not the best, but it's pretty decent and it does an all right job of minimizing reflections and enhancing clarity for this beautiful blue mother of pearl dial. And then this watch will have bitone superluminova. There's a mix of C3 and BGW9 lume found throughout. There's a fully lumed bezel index. And I don't know, Zelos, I think they always overdo it when it comes to lume. It looks fantastic. There is a generous amount applied. And then if you flip the watch over on its side, you'll note that the thread down style crown has a lumed logo. Zooming out, you'll see that this bracelet tapers. It's an H-link design. There is full articulation within the links and then screw pins that connect the links together. There is also a milled quick adjustment clasp, and the watch has pleasant dimensions. It's not too big. It's not too diminutive. It should fit a wide range of wrists. And then within the case is the Miyota 9015 movement. It's a respected movement. There is not a Seiko-made NH35, which is pretty common at this price with other brands. And then lastly, this watch will come in a leather travel case that I find really nice. I actually have been using this, and it's not just sitting in the closet like a lot of my other watch presentation boxes. So to answer that question, is this above average in terms of specs for the price? I would say yeah. This might be the norm for Zelos, but when I compare it to other brands that charge around $500 for a diver, I think this offers a little bit more. Now to the next point, is this immediately available for shipping? And are there a good mix of color options for us consumers? Yes, this watch officially launches on the 27th of December 2023, and apart from this Tie Teal Mother of Pearl colorway, there will be 4 other color options, and I'll mention those at the end of the video. Now to the next point, does this watch have strong design identity, or is it a little too homage heavy? For me, this case is reminiscent of skin divers from the late 1960s and the early 1970s. I'm thinking of Aquastar, Seiko, Heuer, GUB, which is the forerunner of Glashütte Original, just to name a few. So I look at this and I see the squared off lug ends and then that squared off end link fit. The way this case curves down from the side profile, but also still manages to look pretty linear from the top view. And then how the circular brushing is applied and the polished case edges, how they flow. In that regard, yes, I would say that this is inspired by several watches from an era, but not any one specific watch, though this milled clasp seems to be a 1-to-1 of Omega's current adjustable clasp design, the only noticeable change being the logo. So it's a really good clasp, but not an original design in that regard. So I would say outside of the clasp, yes, this does have its own design identity, but I can definitely see the influencing. To the last point, is Zelos cognizant of market trends and preferences? On the whole, I say yes. This watch is 41 millimeters in dimension, but it plays a little bit more like a 40 on wrist. For reference, my wrist size is 7.25 inches in circumference, and there are many in today's market that prefer a 40 or under in terms of sizing for sport watches. This is also thin, and that makes a positive difference while the watch is being worn. And then another trend that I've noticed, many collectors, they scoff at the inclusion of an NH35 movement in watches that cost $500 or more. And fortunately, that's not the case with this Blacktip 200. This has a citizen-made 9015, which is held in higher regard by watch collectors. Another big market trend is adjustable clasps. I've mentioned this, but Zelos currently has an excellent one here that is smooth to operate, very easy to use, even if it was taken directly from Omega. Another market trend is the date placement preferences. I've seen them shift from 3 to 6 o'clock on the dial. This one has a framed opening at the 6 and a color match date wheel. I think that looks really good, but heaven forbid if a brand places a date at the 4 o'clock position. I see countless negative comments anytime I film a watch that has that type of date placement, and that has not always been the case. But then the part two to that point, does this watch bring something a little unexpected to the table? And I would say absolutely. I love this mosaic mother of pearl dial. Zelos takes small bits of mother of pearl and arranges them in a cool pattern to make this watch dial. They don't stop there. They then dye the dial. They dye the mother of pearl teal, and this also has a fume color application, and that means that the perimeter of the dial is darker, which naturally pushes the eye in to the brighter, more vibrant dial center. Lastly, they take a reflective epoxy layer and apply it to the overall dial, so the material shimmers. It changes with light. It changes with color. It has that pattern. I think it looks fantastic. And this is also found on the bezel insert, though in that area, it does not have the fume color application. So yeah, I would say that they bring something a little unexpected to the table. I would say if we look at the overall aspects that make a great micro brand or a top micro brand, this does a very good job. Rounding out the features of this Blacktip 200, there are large polished applied markers, an applied Zelos logo, a deep pattern of a blacktip reef shark on the back, and then lastly, quick release end links for swapping out the bracelet without the need of a tool. Now let's go to Zelos's website. Let's take a look at what they're offering here with this Blacktip 200. For $499, you can get a black dial, a burnt orange dial, a full lume dial, which I think looks really nice, or $549 for a venturine or a mother of pearl teal like this version in front of the camera today. Just to round out, let's go back to that question. Is Zelos the top regarded micro brand? I've talked to a lot of watch collectors. A lot of my watch collecting friends enjoy micro brands, and it seems like Zelos is consistently mentioned as a top one, if not the top one. So let me know what you think below. I think you could make a case either way. I remain a fan of El Shantang and what he has done with the brand. I know what to expect when Zelos drops a watch, and my expectations are always high. All links to Zelos and this new titanium Blacktip 200 will be below. If you have a question, let me know. I will respond to you in the comment section. If you enjoyed this video, I would appreciate a like. And if you want to help me grow and not get lost in the algorithm, please subscribe. Thank you.